Hey, what's going on, guys? Major Ryan, and today I'm going to be doing something really cool, something I've wanted to do for a long time. I'm going to be unboxing a Gundam. So I've never built a Gundam model. If you don't know what a Gundam model is, I'll show you in a minute, but basically they're tiny mech scale figures that you build, and they're based off the anime Mobile Suit Gundam. Now, my favorite series in the Gundam universe is Mobile Suit Gundam Wing. It first aired March 6th in the year 2000 on Toonami and was the series that got me into Gundam to begin with. There's a lot of really great characters throughout all the different Gundam series, but this one in particular is my absolute favorite. So it stars 5 child, basically super soldier pilots. That's Hiro, Trowa, Katra, Duo, and Wu Fei. And they pilot the Wing Gundam, the Heavy Arms Gundam, the Sandrock Gundam, the Shenlong Gundam, and Death Scythe. And if you know Gundam, you definitely know Death Scythe. He's like the most popular Gundam of all time, right? Or at least one of them. And then for the bad guy side, the Lightning Count, or the leader of the Oz military, which is a subgroup of the Earth Sphere Alliance, which is basically the governing body of Earth at this point, is Zex Marquis, or Zex Peacecraft. And he controls my personal favorite Gundam of all time, the Tallgeese. Now, a lot of Gundam models are kind of crazy expensive, and that's one thing you find out when you get into Gundam, I guess, which I haven't really gotten into. This is my first model I've ever picked up, and I'm super excited to build it. But one thing a lot of people who are into the hobby really say about it is it can be pretty expensive, and it'll drain your wallet pretty quick. But without further ado, I'm going to show you what I got, and then I'll probably make another video where I actually build it, and I'll kind of talk about the build process. But, so for starters, the first thing you really need when you're building one of these models is some tools. Now, unlike what I had originally thought, you don't need glue, you don't need stuff like that, but you do need like some basic tools. And the most simple tool of all is actually this, and that is a pair of model nippers. Now basically these are side cuts, but they're made to cut the runners, which are the sheets of plastic I'll show you in a minute, that actually have the pieces. And I picked these up for $17 on Amazon or so. I'm sure you can find them on there. And these just are made to cut the runners, like I said. And you really want that because you don't want to be breaking runners. And the cleaner you can cut and polish and sand the model, the better it's going to look, or the individual pieces after you put it together. Now, some other things I got in order to polish and sand is I got some sanding blocks. I don't remember how much these were. I think maybe 10 or 12 bucks on Amazon or so, as well as some glass finishing files. Now, these are basically really high grit sandpaper in a sense, whereas these are a bit rougher. So you'd start with something like this and then move to this for the finishing touches. Next, hobby pen knife, I guess it's called, but this is basically a razor blade in pen form, and so once again it allows you to remove imperfections in the little pieces, and apparently this is super important. I've never built one, so we're kind of gonna go through this together. But now finally, what I'm sure most of you are waiting for is the model itself. Now there's a lot of different aspects of model building, like I'm sure a lot of you know of the model cars and whatnot, but one thing that's unique about Gundam models is they have different grades. And the different grades doesn't necessarily represent the quality, right? Like a master grade isn't necessarily higher quality than a higher grade in all aspects, but they do represent something. So the high grade is kind of a basic entry level Gundam. They're still really nice. They're not super intricate with all the decals and water decals and stuff like that. Whereas the master grade and then the real grade, they're much more intricate with decals, parts. They have an inner frame and stuff like that. And so while I'm just starting out, I figure a really good route to go would be the high grade. And the best high grade that I saw so far that I like personally the looks of is the Mobile Suit Gundam Aerial, upside down, Rebuild. Now the Gundam Aerial is a high grade model from the Witch from Mercury. And this is the rebuild kit, so this isn't the standard kit. Now, I like this one just for the cosmetic appearance of it. I'm not sure about if it's harder to build or whatnot, but I guess we'll find out. So inside of the actual box, what you get are runners, which are these plastic pieces. This is what you cut. You can see like all the pieces inside of the plastic. You cut these out and they just snap together. And so I thought that was really cool. I always thought you needed glue or something like that in order to put them together, but you don't. You actually just need side cuts and some time. So you get those. Now, you get weapons and everything with them. This one has a shield, so you get that. It doesn't come with a base stand, which I kind of thought it would, but so you probably have to pick that up separately, and so that's what I'll do. But on top of that, you get instructions. Now, all the instructions are in Japanese. However, all of the runners themselves are labeled with numbers and then letters. And you just, if you can see that, go to the runner you need. So in this case, you go to runner E, or the plastic piece that's labeled E, and then 2. So then you find which of these runners is labeled E, and then 2. And so even though the instructions are in Japanese, it should still be a pretty straightforward building process, I'm hoping. I'm not sure how tricky it actually will be, but like I said, I'm going to make a follow-up video where I kind of go through and show the build process and how hard it is, and I'll let you guys know what I think. Now, if you've ever built one of these models, please leave in the comments. Is it hard? Like, it seems a little intimidating, especially when I was just researching it, but now that I have it, it really doesn't seem all that bad. It seems like maybe 2 or 3 hours and I'll have this thing put together. Now, another aspect of Gundam models that I really enjoy is the customization. If you look online for these models, you'll inevitably come across people that customize them. There's something called panel lining, which is all the little lines in the actual Gundam, all these little lines, they put black ink in to make it pop. Another thing is they add weathering. They airbrush them. They add their own decals. There's a lot of special markers just for Gundam, so that way you can customize. And so I think that's really neat. Not only do you have a complete package out of the box, but depending on how much time you want to put into the hobby, you can bring it so much further. So I encourage you, look online. Some of the builds out there are absolutely crazy. Now, because this is my first model, I probably won't be doing that. I am thinking about maybe adding panel lining, depending on how the build process goes. But yeah, stay tuned, because I'm going to upload the video once I have it built, and I'm going to explain, like, hey, is this worth trying? You know, I'm not super adept with building things. So this is going to be an interesting process to see, like, hey, can somebody like me put this together fairly simply? And if so, is it something I'd want to do again? Because if this is a one and done thing, maybe it's not really the hobby for me. But if I enjoy putting this thing together, hey, I'll let you know. And then maybe you guys could give it a shot. So like, follow, comment, all that stuff. Let me know if you've built these models before, and leave it in the comments if you've ever built these models for other interested people just like me. Because like I said, it was a little intimidating when I first saw these kits and wanted to get into it. But now that I have it, it does seem a little bit more simple. So I'm excited. But anyways, thanks for watching the video. Check up on the channel for the follow-up video. Thanks, guys.